Ooh, child.
Things are gonna get easier. We sound like
Ooh,
angels.
child. You know.
Sound like a combination of Fergie and Jesus.
So you want to know something really funny?
Well, is this the podcast? Are we doing it?
Yeah, we're live. But
All right, I'm
hold on.
Aaron.
Yeah, I'm Chris. But all right, so you want to know something really funny? So I'll start hugging my girlfriend, and I'll be like, I'll hug her, and I'll be like, "Ooh, child." Thing, and then I'll like say the first line, and then I'll just make up some random shit, and I'll be like, "Ooh, child, I love smacking that ass around. Ooh, child, you're gonna get a nice red popper," or something like that. And it's funny. So I don't know. I've been doing that for a little while now, and then I go to I'm watching Boy Meets World on Disney Plus because I love that show. It was like my favorite show growing up. So I watched it, and I just was finishing it. And it's funny because in the third last episode of the entire series, it's when Angela's leaving the show because, well, they're ending. So she's going with her dad to like Europe or something. And so Eric hugs her and says, "Ooh, child, things are good." And it's like, holy fucking shit. So she was in the other room the other night, and I'm like, "Yo, you gotta get in here." So I pause it and I hit play, and that happens. And she's just like, "Oh my God, really?"
Now, do you think that you were doing that because you saw that show when you were a kid, or
No.
is it just a deja vu moment?
I
have weird moments like that.
No,
where I'm
you
like,
know what it is?
It's parallel thinking.
No, it's oh my God, what the fuck is his name?
It's the Mandela
It's the
effect.
Mandela effect. I just figured it out.
You
I
did.
know the secrets to the universe. I know everything.
I think you do.
Here, I'll tell you right now what it is.
Okay.
This is groundbreaking news right now. Ground fucking breaking. So, the simulation theory is real. We're in a simulation, but here's the thing. This is what I figured out. I'm the only entity that is conscious. Everybody around me are subpar conscious levels that only interact in certain ways, shapes, and forms to save on memory, as well as all of the other people that are non-players in this whole simulation in my life.
No, see, first of all,
Hold on, I'm telling you.
Okay.
I'm telling you my secrets. So this is the secret. So the simulation's real. Some 13-year-old kid in their grandmother's basement right now is watching me and my entire life. But here's the crazy thing. I figured out the time warp. So we think that this is 30-something years from born to now. No. It's really only like 20 seconds. It's like watching The Sims. You just hit the fast forward button, and to us, or to me, it seems like time is just at a constant level and the same. But because they've changed renderings and they've upgraded the system and changed this rendering, now it seems like it's going a little faster. So that's why, like, at the beginning of my life, it seemed like it went slower, but now it's going like fast. So it's this weird rendering thing that's going on too, because they switched it. So instead of being H.264 encoding, they're doing NVENC now because NVIDIA came out with NVENC.
Yeah.
So they're doing that. But here's the thing. So now, when it comes to Mandela effect stuff, it's things that are in my head. So that's why when I was hugging my girlfriend and singing that song to her, the parody song that I sang, that caused that whole thing with Eric and Angela when he hugged her to say goodbye and say, "Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier." And that's my truth, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, see, now, first of all, let me point out some holes in your thinking.
First of all, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I love it. That I say that all the time. But first of all, I'm the only conscious person in the simulation, and everyone else, I learned a new term. The new term that I learned is NPC, which is non-something player character.
Non-playable character.
Yeah.
And that's what I just said.
Okay.
So you have your conscious entity.
Yeah, that's me.
Then no, you're the subconscious entity.
No, you're the NPC in this thing.
You're the entity that's like, here's my conscious level, and everything that's going on because it's following me because it's my perspective of everything. You just come in when we interact at certain times. So
Yeah.
other than that, like, you're non-existent. You
No.
don't exist in the
See, no,
simulation.
you're the NPC.
But see, because because this coding is so well done that you just disappear, and then when you reappear, you think you had this entire life of things happening, but you really didn't. All you
Okay.
did was just you appear and disappear, and then appear and disappear, and then appear and disappear.
No, see, that's you in my life. I'm the only conscious organism. The rest of the people are just NPCs. Like, they could be zombies, but I'm the only thing that's real.
But you don't control the Mandela effect like I did.
No, I definitely
So-
do, and I'll tell you why. We're at my job, and there was a person who was talking about how they would have liked to see Jimi Hendrix. And at this very same time, then another woman goes, "Oh my goodness, look at the account," or what, I don't know how to term it. The person's name that was on the computer screen was James Hendrix, right? But that's not only the kicker. Then all of a sudden, Jimi Hendrix came on the radio. So how could one person be talking about Jimi Hendrix and what it would be like to see Jimi Hendrix in concert? Then there's a person named James Hendrix who just happens to be in the file system of names of people. And then
And I'll tell I got this.
it's the
figured out.
Mandela effect.
No, I got to figure it out. See, you know how I said when you go away, you disappear, and then when
Yeah.
you come back, you reappear
that's
with
you.
No, hold on. With this entire life that of things that happen.
Yeah.
So when all of these things that happen, notice how they're all very similar to each other. Mine are all different from each other. So that means it puts more memory into me, and you're the subconscious-esque style of person where you're coming back here recalling these quote unquote memories of things that happened, which really didn't, because it's just a code that's telling you this is what your life was. So
Yeah.
you can portray that to me on a conscious level because I'm the actual entity that is in the simulation and
Yeah.
being simulated. Right now.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Did you see the movie The Island?
Yes.
With Scarlett Johansson?
Yes. Good
they,
movie.
They program I don't know, what do they call them? I forget what they call the replacement part people. There's a term for them, like symbiotes or something. I forget what they call them.
Yeah. Well, their specific name or what they thought they were.
They
Thought they were the survivors.
Yeah, but they call the people like symbiotes or something that what they are. They grow them in the lab. They're
Yeah, it was
spare
something
parts.
like that.
Spoiler alert: those are spare parts for
If you
real
didn't-
people.
Yeah, if you didn't see The Island yet, what the hell is wrong
I know,
with you?
it's
It's a fucking great movie.
Yeah, I think that Scarlett Johansson is so hot in that movie. So
Oh, she's
hot.
so hot in every movie.
In
I
every
don't know.
movie.
I don't think I've ever seen her in a movie that she's not hot in.
Did you see? There's another movie she's in. It's Under the Skin. Did you see that one? You should watch that. Anyway,
I don't think so.
in The Island, they program those people with dreams and stuff about their childhood, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying that that's what happens to me when I go out of your field of view. I'm getting some fake memory inserted code like the Matrix, but I think it's the other way around.
No,
I think
here-
I'm the conscious organism
we
and
figure-
you're the
no.
third party.
Here's the thing.
I'm in the Truman Show. Everyone is watching me. My friends, they pay you to hang out with me. That's what I
See,
think.
here's the thing. You're kind of close, but the problem is it's such a revelation that the code right now is trying everything it can because I might break out of the code. So
Okay.
if I disappear and get out of the matrix, then hey, it was great knowing y'all, but no, I think what it is, it's another program that's taking effect, and it's called the denial program, and you're running it on hard speed right now because I figured out the variance, how it was the whole couple of things that all happen close together like that. That's again, it's small variations for the other people around me, and then the NPCs that are even further out are just non people that don't even, they might just grunt or like whatever, not even around or something. So for me, like I said, it's a little bit more in depth. The only thing is, I don't remember Kazam or Shazam. I only remember Kazam.
I don't.
What was the one?
I can't remember which one it is, but I'm telling you that Sinbad was in it.
No, there was no Sinbad one. Hold on, I gotta look this up right now. I don't remember which one it is because
While you're doing
the,
that,
the exact same fucking one.
I try not to be rude, but I'm returning a text because it's a person I haven't heard from. But
You're
anyway,
not supposed to be texting.
I know. So, Real Rideshare Stories, the channel that everyone should go to. When I went on there, there's
It's Kazam. Kazam is with Shaq. Okay, so that Kazam is the real one, just so we know.
So this is great. So go to Real Rideshare Stories on YouTube and check out your channel. But this is genius. So you first told me to watch this video called Uber Introduces Training Buddy for working out. Training Buddy is hilarious. And I wish that when I go to the gym, it was a real thing where I could be like, I need a local trainer at my local gym. I was just at the gym this morning to move my membership from where I lived to where I live now. And I could have used Training Buddy to find a new trainer. But it gets even better. Then you go for Drinking Buddy. Drinking Buddy. Where was Drinking Buddy when I was in my 20s? When everyone was out for doing something stupid with their boyfriends and girlfriends and wives, and I needed to go out drinking, I could have ordered my Drinking Buddy.
Well, that's the same thing that they ask about Uber and Lyft. They're like, I could have gone out drinking and I didn't have to drive home, but I got a DWI instead because I was stupid and drove home.
It's so
Here's
dumb.
the thing. Don't drink and drive. Get an Uber or Lyft instead.
People are still drinking. I just read about a politician who's afraid she's going to lose her job because she was drinking and driving. Like, it's 2020. Why are you drinking and driving? Get a freaking Uber.
Yeah, right.
But also, why are you drinking alone? Get a Drinking Buddy.
I know, right? Oh, speaking of, I forget that you live close to me now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so pissed off because, so we go to the bar the other night to go watch a show, and I'm like I was not happy. I didn't even. For me, I'm the type of person who loves to go out. I like to go out, and that night, I don't know. I just didn't want to go out. I don't know what it was. I think maybe it's just the winter. It's all crappy and cold and shitty outside. And I'm like, fuck it, I don't want to go out. So I was like sitting at the bar and hanging out. We were watching the show for like an hour or so, and it's like, but then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I used to go to the bars and I used to go and try to smash all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And I was pretty damn good at it.
All right.
And I think it's different now because it's like, well, I have a girlfriend. We're hanging out. I'm not there for like any particular reason. So I don't know. It's just this weird morphic change, I guess you could say. So it's just really strange. But yeah, I'm like, then the next day I text you. I'm like, fuck, I should have called you up, and I keep forgetting because you're like actually close to me now.
Yeah, that's
so
pretty cool.
You can now.
Hey, I completely forgot too. I'm like, oh, because I could have that band. First of all, if you live in Western New York, as we've discussed before, I really like music, and I fell off after a while. Like where we've talked about how I don't get the adventure in my head. The music doesn't speak to me like it used to ever since I've been doing meditation and focusing on other things. But there's good news. I went to my friend's house and we listened to music, and it's sparking something in me again. But anyone who lives in Western New York, there's a band called Nerds Gone Wild. They're hilarious and they're really good. I was really impressed when I saw them over summer a couple years ago. And I didn't know they were playing, and I completely forgot to check the local area to see what was going on. I could have went to go see Nerds Gone Wild.
Yeah, and then I think Hit and Run was playing the next night.
Okay,
the only thing though that sucks at that place is where they were playing is the acoustics there are absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
It's not good for bands.
No. I remember when Hit and Run was playing there, and we went there the one time when they were there, and they were setting up, so they were bringing all their stuff in from behind. And he's like, yeah, this is a great crowd, but I hate playing here because the acoustics are so bad. And that really kind of like woke me up to it, because normally when I'd go there, it was just music playing and I'd be on the other room, in the front room, the bar. And so like in that spot, the acoustics aren't bad because it's not wide open.
Right.
So when you're in the main area
Yeah.
in where it's all wide open, it sounds like absolute dog shit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's like they never put in acoustic tiles or
Yeah.
anything to like
And plus,
make
they
it sound
bump
better.
they bump club music most of the time, and that'll blow
Yeah.
out your speakers, and it's not good for an actual band that has instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I saw Nerds Gone Wild twice. I forgot we saw them at the other place. Where were we on? I think you were there. Well, Nerds Gone Wild. The first time I saw them was
Is
at
it
the
Santora's?
yeah. The first time I saw
Yeah, I
them was
didn't go to
outside.
Santora's.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't
thought
there.
you were there that day. All right.
No, that was when. No, didn't you go? Were you guys at Santora's and then went to Route 78 and then I met you guys there?
Yes, I remember
Okay,
now.
yeah. So I think I was out driving.
Yep,
that
yep,
night
for
So,
sure.
yeah, that's why I was out doing some Uber and lifting.
Yeah, I saw Nerds Gone Wild outside first at the Lancaster town fair.
Oh yeah, they played there. I
Yeah,
think,
and I was like, people had always told me to go see them, but I didn't. I thought for some reason it was like an '80s kitschy, weird. It just didn't. Nerds Gone Wild. It sounded like the world's largest disco. Like it's
Oh.
specific.
Speaking of, this is another way to back up my whole thing where I control the Mandela effect. So here's the crazy thing: we go to the bar.
Yeah.
Nerds Gone Wild starts. They have their intro to their show. What did you just watch that coincides with going to the bar?
Drinking Buddy.
Yes. So we made Drinking Buddy, which came out last week. So because we do them every Friday, so it came out the week prior. And at the beginning of Drinking Buddy, what is playing?
What was playing?
No, I'm asking what was playing
Oh, I can't
on the video.
remember. I can't remember.
It was that Star Wars intro.
Oh
that
yeah,
I
that's
made.
right. You made Star Wars. Yep.
Nerds Gone Wild goes on stage. When they play their intro, it is the Star Wars
See?
theme.
I'm telling you.
And not only that, I forgot. I just remembered now. I know we had this conversation before, but I just realized that right here on that it says Tea Time.
Yeah.
Tea Time is the name of the disc. Which, if you're listening, these are our little coasters that we have, and they're like little records that actually
really
have
cool.
music on them.
Yeah, I really like these.
And this name says Tea Time. Do not spill this. And yeah, I part own a tea shop. So I told you, the simulation is on me.
No, it can't be.
So that
I
right
have-
there is the program that is called Denial. It's the Denial
No,
program.
it's definitely not.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
I'll think of, this is a great subject because these weird deja vu.
Deja vu is not Mandela effect,
Well,
though.
I have a friend that we were growing up that I grew up listening to the Grateful Dead. And the Grateful Dead, the new version, there's a following of the band Fish
Uh-huh.
who thinks that there's some of them, the Fish is the new Grateful Dead to these Fish heads, right? But for me, it'll always be Grateful Dead, right? And I'm not taking anything away from Fish. I think they're very talented musicians and their music is great. They're talented, but it's not, it's like the difference between Beatles and Rolling Stones, right? Well, I have a friend who grew up loving Fish, right? But he would always talk about those weird moments, and we would call them Ludwig moments. And every time something weird happened, he'd be like, "Oh, that happened," and they're all Ludwig moments. So I have a million of them, and I'll have to think about, and I'll prove to you that I'm the only conscious thing, and everything else is the part of the program.
Sorry, you're not going to win that one.
Yeah.
I just put plenty.
No, I'm in the Truman Show. Everyone is
No.
watching me.
here's
Everyone
the
else
thing.
is a character
Here's the
that's
thing.
paid to be my friend.
The problem is the Truman Show isn't the simulation.
No, it's not.
So I'm actually putting forward true, actual, tangible evidence of all these different things that are happening that I'm influencing around.
Yeah.
And because your influences are so aligned closely, that shows you that it's a different level because there's not as much variation between those versus the variation that I have. Because
Yeah.
again, I'm at the center, so the variation has to be much higher versus those that are around me where the variation has to be slightly less because it's just the way it has to be. And then
Okay.
again, all the outer ring people who mean nothing, they're just not NPCs that don't mean anything.
Yeah. Well, what about when I'm home and I think this happened the other day. I was thinking about I think dolphins. And then I was watching a cartoon similar, like it was like Family Guy or something like that. And then all of a sudden, right when I'm thinking about a certain animal, then that animal is in the cartoon for no reason. Like there's not talking about animals. All of a sudden they tie in this weird animal. How is that? That's the Mandela effect.
No, again,
Well, it's not the Mandela
Again,
effect. That's
it's-
where my brain is controlling the things that are around me, and you're the NPC.
again, it's those small variations because you're thinking of the exact same. Notice how it's a small variation.
Yeah.
My variations are bigger. So like
I have
there's
plenty of
more,
examples of big
There's
things.
more, but you're given all these small
Well, I
ones.
have
You're
to
saying
think
like
of them.
Jimmy, James, that's okay. That's all the same. That's
Well, I'd
the
have to
same
think of them.
It's like a flat line. You're like,
Yeah.
did it?
Yeah.
Mine's like,
So if I think of the movie The Mannequin, if I'm like, oh, the movie The Mannequin, that was a great movie. Remember
Never
that movie,
heard
The
of it.
Mannequin? You never heard of the movie The Mannequin?
no. I've
Oh
heard
my
of manic
goodness.
depression.
The movie The Mannequin is either a late 80s or 90s movie where it's about a mannequin. It's the same actor who was in, oh my goodness, Weekend at Bernie's.
Okay.
Okay, the guy that's Weekend at Bernie's, not the dead guy, but one of the, what's his name? I forget what his name is. There's two guys that work together that go to Weekend at Bernie's. One of those guys is in the movie The Mannequin, right?
Okay.
So if I think of the movie The Mannequin, and then all of a sudden the movie The Mannequin comes on TV, isn't that weird? Is that the, and it's not even the Mandela effect.
No, that's not the Mandela effect. That's collective consciousness.
Okay.
That's thought and consciousness controlling.
I'll think of some really good
the
examples.
universe around.
Yeah. I'll think of really good examples because I got a lot of them.
That's
that I
like
have
the
to
same thing where you're thinking like, oh, I haven't talked to this person in a while,
That's
and then
happened.
all of a sudden you see them or they call you or something.
No,
like that.
I remember I'm
Like,
oh
out of
my
the blue.
goodness, they should call me. And they literally call me
Yeah.
after 4 weeks.
That's
That's
exactly
happened
it.
to you?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Okay. It's weird, right? So if we live in a physical world that's random.
No, because I told you I believe in collective consciousness.
Okay.
So collective consciousness kind of explains it all.
I
Even though
was-
it's not necessarily provable, but it could be provable.
I was listening
doing
to
tests.
a Sean Carroll podcast who had a person on there that they were talking about consciousness. And there's a term for collective consciousness. And there's
Euphoria?
a term. There's a term. Well, yeah. And then there's.
NPC?
I didn't know what that was. Like, what is? I have heard the term
NPC is non-playable character.
Yeah,
but
like-
NPC is also like a term that is kind of like, oh god, it's like for memes and stuff. Like
Yeah.
NPC,
Yeah.
and it's like just like the drones of people, and so it can have like a different type of meaning, but non-playable character.
That's the technical term in a video game. Is
Yeah.
like when you go to buy your wares from the guy, and he's there to sell you the thing, and you buy your thing, and then he goes away, and he's not part of the game. That's the non-playable character.
Yeah.
But
So,
in real life,
you want to know what a not? I'll give you a real life my simulation.
well, that's the whole thing. So in real life, there's all these people who are supposed to be there. They're just a non-playable character. They go to work. They do their
Yeah.
thing.
So I'll give you a perfect example of what non-playable characters are.
Is it me?
No, you're a playable character.
Okay.
You're just the low. You're just like the person around me to make me not realize that this is a simulation. But now that I know it's a simulation, I can now change things around and manipulate and stuff, just like with what I did with that whole scene in Boy Meets World, where I said, "Ooh, child," and so now that I've injected myself into that show, I'll give you a perfect example of NPCs. So you go in your local Applebee's because you want to eat, you want to get a strawberry lemonade vodka for $1
Yeah.
during the month of February. And no, this is not sponsored by Applebee's, but Applebee's, if you're interested,
Yeah,
email us.
for sure.
But no, you walk into Applebee's and there's a bunch of people there. Everybody in there is a non-playable character that's not you
Yeah.
serving on you, meaning the waiter or waitress that's coming to actually take your order, or any I mean, even if you have like small interactions with people, they're not, they're still NPCs or non-playable characters. They're still the NPCs because they only have like 4 programmed responses in them.
Okay.
So other than that, it's just like wah 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 wah
Yeah.
wah 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 wah.
Well, there's just so many people that like they get up and they're like, oh, time to go to work. They go to work and they serve their function at work, and then they come home and they're like,
No.
oh, and they're just not extraordinary in life. They're
No,
not doing
that's-
anything.
No, that's
It's
called
extraordinary.
That's called routine rut.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
not even non-playable characters, just people you pass by because and they have no aspect in your life.
Yeah.
And in a simulation, because I'm the entity that the person that's simulating my life is watching right now.
Yeah.
Like there's people that are there to make me real think that everything's okay, like this is what life is, this is what it's supposed to be, but it's really not. It's just this mask of things. So there's different levels of characters that are in my life of this simulation, and the NPCs are the people that I may see time to time that I don't really interact with, or that I go to a grocery store and there are all the shoppers that are standing there in the line pissing me off, or they all clump together. That's why like you get all these like clumps of people, because all these NPCs are standing next to each other because they don't know what the fuck to do. So they just stand there with their goddamn carts and they're like, where do I look? What do I want?
Yeah.
And you're like, get the fuck out of my way because I want to do something.
It sounds like Bill Burr. Bill Burr has a really good bit about, and I don't want to burn his comedy, but it's on Netflix and it's old. One of his specialties talking about people are just in the way people.
Oh my
just walking
God.
around, looking around and shit. It's so funny.
Oh my God.
It's in the way
So-
people.
Oh my God. So I got to tell you that. I got to tell you the story of what happened to me at the grocery store maybe about 2 weeks ago. I was shopping. I took my daughter and me, and I was shopping, and I was going to get dinner, and I had to get a bunch of other stuff as well too. So my girlfriend's at home, and I was only going to be out. I should have been out for like a few minutes, but it ended up turning into like a much longer time. And the time that I went, I think it was I think it was Saturday or Sunday, like around like 4:35 time frame. I don't remember that, but it's on the weekend. I know that, and it was around that time. So like 8 different times, there's like groups of people that like get clumped together when I'm trying to get through the store as quick as I can. And it's like, it was pissing me off so much that I was having road rage in the fucking store. And I'm like, get the fuck out of my way. And it was just like, you have got to be kidding me right now. And so I leave my phone. I usually leave my phone in the car. And so I finally get to the car, and she texts me. She's like, where are you? And I'm like, oh, you're never going to believe what happened. And that's exactly, it was like groups, like they were coming out, and then one was just like stopped, like, what am I looking at? Where am I going? And then another person who's just like, can't fucking walk. And they're like, and then there's like 2 other people that are coming, and it's like, nobody knows where to go or what to do. They just stand there like morons. And it's like, get out of my way, or I'm going to run somebody over. And I'm not like, I don't really, I mean, I have road rage to a point, but not anything where I'm going to act out or lash out or anything. But it's like, get out of the way. Like, that's like a perfect example of NPCs fucking with you, because they're just standing there like morons, and they have 3 programmed responses.
Yeah.
Let's all clump together and do nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, get the fuck out of my. That's another example of the NPCs that are in my life because of
I'm with you.
because the simulation is on me.
I try not to, when I'm out in daily life, I try not to I try not to get anger like that, but it happens to everybody.
Oh,
right?
fuck yeah.
And I'm like, oh my goodness. But I have a very good question. Is there been a situation in life where you're like, oh, I was the asshole in that situation? Here's what happened to me.
Fuck yeah, all the time.
The other day, and it's just a small thing. I was at the job, the place that I go to get money. In our cafeteria, there's like 4 tables round tables with chairs. And The TV remote control is on the first table in front of the TV. I sat down at the first table in front of the TV. The TV remote control's there. And there's two people at the second table, and they're like, mingling amongst themselves and talking. And on the TV during my lunchtime, there's some like cancer patient in the hospital bed. And then there's some other kind of violence going on. It's like a violence show. And I just didn't want to eat my food while watching I would rather watch the news, right? So I put on the news, and then the people behind me, the one girl was very rude, and this is what caused the problem. They were like, excuse me, you changed the channel, and I was watching that, and you really should have. And just like, I forget what she said, but very, very rude. And I was like, okay, you should have had the remote control then. And I got rude back. Mm-hmm. And then there's a little sign on the TV that says, don't put the program on anything that might be offensive to other people. And I'm like,
I throw it right onto something that's like super offensive. Be like,
of course.
What are you going to do about it?
Well, yeah. Well, what she said, like, you can't just change the TV and something. And I'm like, well, it says right there, like, you don't put the TV on things that are offensive. I didn't want to see violence in a cancer patient while I'm eating my food. So I changed it to turn the news. But I was rude back because of the attitude. Yeah. But then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? If you go into a place, even if the remote control is way over there and it doesn't appear that anyone else is paying attention, you probably should ask, hey, are you watching this? Can I change a channel? Do you care? I was clearly in the wrong. Now that person was in the wrong because they were rude. That doesn't give you the right to call someone an asshole or be rude about it. So I had to give attitude back. But then I paused for about 30 seconds and I said, you know what? I was rude. I'm sorry. I should have asked if you were watching the TV before I changed it. I apologize, but I don't like to watch violence. No, she just gave me a...
Exactly.
Like, you accept, like, I apologize to you. Say, okay, I accept your apology. Let's all move on. So she got such an attitude. Well, you can't just control the TV. I thought, you know what? Fine. I turned the fucking TV off. Now nobody's watching the TV. This is like you have to accept when people fuck up in public. I fucked up. I was rude. I apologize. You got to move on.
Oh, yeah.
Now everyone suffers.
I'll give you my example of the best. I love this example. It's fucking phenomenal. And it's funny because I saw a meme about this too the other day. And I'm always like, every time this happens, I always think it. And there it is. That's a meme. And so what it is, it's like when I'm driving and somebody fucking walks in front of me and they had like, there's nobody behind me. It's like, are you fucking stupid? Like, get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah.
And it like, that pisses me off. Yeah. And it's like, you piece of shit. Oh. And I'm thinking that in my head. And then like right after that, I'll think to myself when I'm like, I'm the one who's walking across the street and a car is coming and they have to slow down. I'm like, yeah, fucking hit me, motherfucker. I'll show you what happens.
You have the right of way. Pedestrians have the right of way.
But that's the thing. It's like the whether I'm in the car driving and the pedestrian's walking, or if I'm the one who's walking and slowing down the car. Either way, I'm in the right and they're in the fucking wrong. And it's like, but I'm the asshole because I'm the one who would do the exact same thing in both situations.
Well, at least you're aware of it. There's so many people that go through life like that. Like it's all about them. I try to be conscious about, my zone in society, but I think that's part of adulthood is really realizing, okay, we're all in a society. What am I doing? Maybe I could have done that differently and have some self-reflection. It's so crazy out there. I watched a comedian on Netflix that everyone should watch, and I want to promote him. His name is Ronnie Chang. It was really funny.
Is he Asian?
Funny. I think he's like German or Polish. No, he's Asian. He's definitely Asian.
Does he have the coronavirus?
Well, Chris, I'm glad you mentioned that because there's two things. First of all, if you carry a chunk of lime, that prevents the coronavirus. You just got to carry a chunk of lime around with you.
Well, you need a cerveza too.
Well, that too. Yeah, cerveza. Now, I'm not Spanish. That's Spanish for bathroom, right?
Oh, hold on. Keep talking. Okay. I'll get the cure so we won't have any problems.
Okay. All right. So Real Rideshare Stories, you got to go on it and check out these hilarious skits. They're so funny. There's like 5 of them. I can't stop laughing about Drinking Buddy. Drinking Buddy is such a good idea. What else is there? Drinking buddy, gym buddy is hilarious. Training buddy, that's so funny. That's a really good one. Training buddy. What else is there? Let's see. I'm looking on the website. Oh, pet walker. That's funny. Walking buddy. Yep. And you know what? A good one would be Uber wingman. If you need a wingman, that'd be a good one. That's so funny. Or I like the one, and this, a lot of people thought about this before, but the one where you have someone who comes and someone who comes along with you to like, if you have to go meet your parents, like I could have, this is my new fiance.
That's what's coming next week.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be hilarious. I've seen that skit before. People have thought about that one before, but it's super funny. Oh my God. This is so now cerveza, that's, I don't speak Spanish. I'm assuming. All right. So now all you need is your chunk of lime, and that prevents the coronavirus. So you carry your chunk of lime around in your pocket.
Let's make sure. There it is. Right there. You can see it. So anybody who's watching this podcast on YouTube, which you can watch on podcast or on YouTube, right here, you can see I have a Corona sitting right here. That is...
that's all the virus right in there, right?
No, that's the antidote.
Oh, that's the antidote.
This is the antidote. This is what cures the coronavirus.
Okay, because I just been carrying my chunk of lime around.
Notice how it says Corona Extra?
Oh, that's the cure.
And then you put the lime in, and then it has this weird reaction.
Yeah, that's the antidote.
And then all of a sudden, boom.
I get it.
It's okay.
So the lime that you carry around with you, that just repels it. But when you put the lime in there, that's the antidote to actually get the coronavirus. You could cure it with that.
No. That, you know how like so you know your water that you have, and they keep this stuff out because vitamins deteriorate when it goes in the water. Yeah. It's the same exact thing. It's like, this is part A, and the lime is the trigger of it, which will trigger the actual process of the antidotes. Then all you got to do is drink, and boom, you're good to go.
Perfect. Did I tell you about the active shooter brick?
Yes,
I did.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll recap it real quick. I work in an office. There's crazies that have come into office to just start shooting. They lose their job. They're angry, something, right? And I worked for a major company that would give you active shooter training, which I was like, wow, this is, because it does happen. Disgruntled employees come in there with a carbine powered rifle. So I was talking to my boss, and my boss had a brick on his desk. And I go, why do you have a brick on your desk? It was a gray brick, not a red one, a gray one. And he goes, oh, that's my active shooter brick. And in my head right away, I thought of video games. I thought maybe he was a gamer and there was some kind of significant. I'm slow. I'm kind of slow sometimes. I'm slow. You have to explain things to me. Yeah. So, he said, then he goes, no, he goes, this is my brick for if there's an active shooter, I can either break the window and jump out the window, or I can throw it at the active shooter to distract the active shooter. It's like, this has a whole, and I go, okay. I'm like, and he's like, one of our coworkers brought the brick in for everybody. So I start looking at people's desks, and there's like a whole 2 rows full of people that have this active shooter brick on their desk that one of our coworkers brought in. And I was like, I had to find out who this coworker was, who was, clearly ahead by a century. So I started talking to him. I go, now, first of all, it's one thing to be conscious of this as a possibility, but it's a whole nother thing to really go to Lowe's or whatever and buy these bricks and bring them in for everyone. And go, okay, if something ever happens, throw the brick at them, break the window and get out of here, right? So I was like, look, man, I'm like, you're the guy who brought in the bricks. I'm like, okay, I'm glad. Thank goodness for you. I'm glad there's people out there like you who think like this and not only think like that. Well, maybe I should be a little bit concerned here, but actually take action. Like, you know what? I'm going to bring in an active shooter brick for everyone. Well, now, sure enough, the coronavirus, the same guy, he comes in wearing his mask, right? And I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing. I commend you. Well, then I started reading articles, and there's another person that I had a problem with at work at first who thought they were smarter than everyone. Turns out they're very cultured. He went to Asia, and he goes, look, man, he goes, you know, in Asian culture, when you see people who are wearing the masks, they're not wearing the masks not to catch the virus.
To not give it.
They're protecting other people.
Yeah.
People in the U.S. don't know that because we're not part of that culture.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I started reading articles about the mask. And yes, when you're wearing the mask, because you touch your face and your eyes are open, you're not protecting yourself from viruses that much. It helps a little bit. But if you're sick, you wear the mask to protect other people. Look at that.
Read that.
Yeah. Should I read it out loud?
I don't care.
Okay. Found a coronavirus mask in the back of this taxi. Smells a bit, but I'm taking no chances.
And the reason why he's laughing so much,
You gotta tell him.
the reason why he's laughing so much is because it's not really a mask, but it's actually a thong.
It's a thong.
It's used panties.
Oh my God.
And it says, found a coronavirus mask in the back of this taxi. Smells a bit, but I'm not taking no chances.
It's a
Hashtag coronavirus. And then
Oh my
here's
God.
another one.
Oh my God. I can't stop laughing. My
Here-
eyes are watering. My eyes are
That's
watering.
another one.
The plane coming from China.
And it's got the mask on the front, on the nose.
Oh, I've seen the meme where, like, when you're ordering something from Wish, because Wish is like a Chinese vendor, or the air in the bubble wrap is from China, and people freak out. The funniest one, though, I saw an Asian guy he made a skit where he just happened to notice that when he coughed, people would run away from him.
Mm-hmm.
So then when he's in like Starbucks, in order to get in line, he starts coughing to get everyone.
Oh, isn't that a skit?
It's a skit. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a really
yeah.
good one.
I seen that.
Oh my
was
God,
that
it's so funny.
was that Ed Bassmaster?
I don't know who I saw it on. It was an Asian. It was an Asian
okay.
skit. Yeah, it was super funny. It was really good. It was the same thing with Curb Your Enthusiasm. Have you watched Curb Your Enthusiasm?
No, I never watched the show.
Oh my God, it's real dry humor. But Larry David, in his new episode, he wears a MAGA hat so that people stop talking to him. Like, he just doesn't. He just. It's a really good. I haven't seen an episode, but someone told me, like, that's hilarious. It's so funny. So yeah, we had a guy wearing the mask at work, and I am going to wear. That's such a good with the panties. With
Yeah.
the
Oh, I saw that yesterday.
Oh my God,
And I
it's so
texted.
funny.
I texted my friend who does YouTube also, and I'm like, I want to put this on my community tab, and I probably will. But YouTube might have like a little problem with it, but I think it's fucking hilarious.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm gonna post that on. I'm gonna post that probably very soon.
So, man, if it was appropriate to wear to work, if that guy was still wearing his mask, I would wear a thong and be like, look, I got my mask too, dude.
See, let me go back though to your active shooter brick. Because here's the thing. Let me take a brick and let me throw it be in arm's reach of an active shooter.
It's such a horrible situation.
Not only and be on target.
No.
When here's the thing, you're right. You could throw it at the window.
Right.
You could throw it at the shooter, or you could do something and you could put it down and Sally could trip.
Right. Well, that's
but here's the funny thing. Like, all I need to do is just bring in a fucking gun.
yeah.
And when this dum-dum's trying to do something stupid, bang,
Right.
he's done. And then hey, guess what? I can reload, or I don't even have to reload because I got all 10 in my clip. And I just shoot the window out and then I escape out the window.
That's the other funniest thing that I ever heard. I work with a really funny guy who he should have been a comedian. He's probably in his late 60s right now. But he said the funniest thing, we have these pouches that they use at concerts to lock your phone up so you can't record. Because I work in a secure building.
Yeah, a lot of places are doing that.
Yeah.
Like comedy shows and shit are doing
Yeah.
that. So.
I kept hearing about, like, if you go to a show, these people are locking. I'm like, what are they talking about? Well, my work has them.
Yep.
And it's actually a really genius idea. All it is a little pouch with a magnet on it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go, they have these big magnets at the door. So you put your phone in the pouch, you clip the thing, and then when you want to unlock it when you're leaving, you got to rub your phone and it unlocks, right? We have them at our work, right? The funniest thing, the older gentleman should have been a comedian, said He goes, well, they give me one big enough to put my AK in it so I can bring that to work in case there's an active shooter. It's the funniest thing.
You're like, no, you just carry the pistol.
Right.
They're better.
Yeah.
They won't blow out your eardrums when you're in danger. Yeah.
Well, when I worked for the large corporation, on a serious note, I did learn something. I've actually had 2 shooter training videos that you had to watch. So I remember in 2007, I had decided to go back to school, and there was a Virginia Tech shooter who went and shot up a bunch of people.
A dum-dum.
Yep, he's definitely a dum-dum. Mental problems and everything, probably on prescription medication like they all are.
Or just, I mean, there's a lot of reasons.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Yeah, that's probably most of it is some sort of mental illness.
Definitely mental illness.
Some sort of depression or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Needed help.
What's the other thing? There's a big thing too that's I don't like maybe like bullying type thing or like that
for
type
sure
of stuff. But
Yep. Have you seen the movie The Jerk with Steve Martin?
Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Like forever ago.
Well, he gets a
It's
job.
such an old movie.
It's
I'm
so
like,
good.
I don't think I've seen it in like 20 years.
Oh, you got to watch it. It's so funny. Like once you watch it again, he gets a job at a gas station. And then there's a crazy who has a gun and he's just going through the phone book.
Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. Like Steve Martin in the movies, he gets himself in the phone book because he gets his own place. He gets in a phone book and he's so excited to be in the phone book. It's like, I'm a person now. I'm somebody now. Yeah. Well, then there's not an NPC. Then there's a crazy out there who's just going through the phone book with his rifle and he points to a name and it happens to be Navin Johnson, Steve Martin's character in the movie. And he's a crazy. So he goes out and he starts shooting at Navin Johnson who's working at the gas station. And, there's holes in the oil can. So Navin is naming Steve Martin in the movie. He goes, oh, look at these cans. They're defective. And the owner of the gas station says, oh, we don't have defective cans. There's a defective person out there. Well, that's how I feel about this Virginia Tech shooting. There's defective people out there. But I remember being at college, and this is when this happened, and I thought, oh my goodness, like that could happen at the campus that I'm at. And I remember feeling fear. You start being suspicious. Is that person a threat? Is that person a threat? Well, then I went to work for a company on a serious note that made us watch videos and just small things that you wouldn't think of. So if you're in an office where you're supposed to hide and hope that the person doesn't see you, but if they come in your office, you can't just lay on the floor and get shot. So they recommend. When I watch
yourself?
Well, that's what I would probably do. But if someone comes into your building and they're shooting and you see that they're shooting out there and you're in an office where you're trapped, you can't go out there. And then he starts coming to you. Well, you're supposed to try to barricade the door and not let him in. But if they come in, they recommend doing everything you can to distract them, throw things at them, and
yeah, but here's the thing: you throw them or throw things at them.
You can't defend.
And all you got to do is go bang.
I get it.
It's like.
But it's like, are you going to lay on the floor and get shot, or are you at least going to try to protect your life?
Here's a smart thing to do. There's two. First of all, it's just like half of the shit that they say is like when they had those drills back in the 50s and 60s,
Yeah.
and they're like,
Get under your desk. Yeah.
Get under your desk and what? Kiss your ass goodbye?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, and the same thing like within airplanes, like, oh, get in, like, put your hands between your legs, and it's like, no,
Kiss
you're
your
going
ass
to
goodbye.
fucking die.
Yeah.
And it's because they're trying to give you the hope that you'll be okay, when in reality it's all bullshit.
No, I agree.
And that's the same thing.
I agree.
So speaking of NPCs in the phone book, did you notice how the phone book used to be really, really thick?
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of NPCs in the phone book.
Yeah.
And now how it gets smaller and smaller because there's a lot more data information that needs to be processed for my simulation, because now we have these things called cell phones.
Is it because cell phone numbers aren't published? Do you think cell phone numbers should be public? Should I be able to look up your number in the phone book?
No.
Okay. See, isn't that weird that you could look up someone's phone number and address in a book that they deliver to you?
But here's the best part. Here's the best part. My phone number, I could just disable my phone number, and then I could get a Google phone number.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And have a whole different phone number that can forward right to my phone.
Yeah,
And it's
I
like,
have one. Yeah, I have one. There's good news on the scammer front. I don't know if you've been paying attention. Kit Boga, who's awesome. I'm sure that these scammers are still going to exist, but the I'm sure because of Kid Boga, the government has finally.
There's a lot of them.
Yep.
A lot of scam baiters.
Yep. The government has finally taken action, and what they're doing is there were two small phone companies, according to the article that I read, that were giving access to foreign call centers into the American phone system. There were small ones that were just allowing thousands of calls to be blasted into the American phone system. And then there were larger companies as well. Mm-hmm. But there were two gateways that they were just bombarding. So the government sent a stern letter to them saying, correct this or we're coming after you. And then they did send a message to the bigger carriers, asking them what they're doing to mitigate foreign computer calls from coming into the U.S. that are scammers. So there's good news. And again, I work at a secure building. We would get these robocalls all day because we have 100 phone lines that come into our building, and we're getting them all day. We were getting blasted with them. They're not happening anymore. So they are doing something about it, everyone out there.
Hello. Yes. This is the IRS.
Yeah.
We have tried contacting you. And if you do not call us back within 30 minutes, we will send the red coat or the black coats to come and get you and put you into the prison.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Call us back at this phone number right now.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Or, hi, this is the Social Security Administration. Yeah. We have we have reason to believe that your information has been stolen. Please call us back. It's like,
man.
But the thing is, here's the crazy thing. Like, these scams happen all the time. Now, let me tell you, I don't know if ever tell you about the Uber, Lyft, and gig delivery scams that are going on?
No.
All right. So what happens is you'll get a ride request or delivery request. You accept it. And then it'll say, for the name, it'll say like generated or like Uber or something, because you can put your own, like any name in and there's no problem. So it'll look like it's an auto-generated ride, or you'll get a phone or a text message saying, this is an auto-generated ride from Uber or Lyft or whatever the company is. And pull over, cancel this ride, and call this number, or please verify your phone number to get a $100 gas card or something. So like right off the bat, it's all bullshit, because first of all, Uber and Lyft and any other gig platforms won't contact you that way. They don't send automated orders or automated rides in any way. So they'll do that. And yeah, people fall for it. I see it on Facebook groups all the freaking time. And so I make videos on it quite often, because anytime there's a variation of it, I'll post that variation on YouTube. And so there was one, a woman made a video and sent it to me. So I posted it yesterday, and there were like 8 people who commented. They're like, do people actually fall for this? And it's like, all right, just because you know it's a scam,
right,
doesn't mean that other people don't know. Like, there's people who are brand new to Uber and Lyft who may not have any fucking idea that that's true or not. Like, they get people because they're cunning and they use smart tactics. Mm-hmm. Most people are not going to fall for it. But yeah, a lot of people, they're doing it. Well, that means they're getting in. And what they do is they have you verify your account information and give your, like, essentially your login credentials, or they have you add their banking information to the payouts.
Right.
So they're getting paid off of your work.
Well, that's
what they're doing.
Well, that's what I realize is, most people are, you would think most people are street smart. Like, oh, that's a scam. You know that's a scam. We all know that's a scam. There's good news. I'm going to be a millionaire because a prince in a foreign country is leaving me $50 million. All I have to do is send him $1,000 for paperwork, and they'll release the funds to me, right? Like, we all know that that's the Prince scam. We've gotten the email. But there are people out there who are NPCs.
Look at that first email that came in. This is in my junk mail and my for my YouTube channels.
Yeah, see?
The first one.
Yeah. I have some amount of funds that I want to move out of the country.
I want to. Do you want me to read it?
Well, I mean, we all know, like, you think that this is common knowledge that people know this scam, but then there are the NPC people that they don't think in the terms that people are out there even scamming and they've never heard of it. So they just go along their business. And I get how people could be victimized by the scam if they don't know any better, right? You don't know about the Prince scam. You don't know that. And it's interesting because a lot of the ways that companies get hacked is not by some savvy computer hacker that's like, oh, I'm in and I've made it. They send phishing emails that says, this is IT. Please send me your login and we need to reset your password. You know, that's how people's networks get penetrated. It's by phishing scams. It's not by some, I mean, there's a lot of hackers out there too, but
Yeah, phishing scams are horrible. And that's the other
this is
thing
your IT
too.
department. Send me your credentials. We got to reset your password.
Oh, and
People fall for it.
And that's the other thing. There's a lot of charismatic people out there too. And
Yeah.
like when you're driving Uber or Lyft and they're trying to get certain information, they can be like, they can say, you know, they could just be in your car and there's nobody else there. It's just you and maybe them or a couple of people or something. They can be like, oh, you know, I just moved into town, even though it could be bullshit. I just moved into town. I'm looking for a new bank. Where do you bank? And okay, boom, they might have your banking.
Yep.
So it's like I'll just come up with some bullshit story
Updog.
from my life.
It's Updog Bank.
Yeah, it's Updog Financial. It's just online. I just do that.
Yeah.
So I don't even
great.
have because if I move every year. So if I'm here to there to over there, and it's like
I have one question. What's Updog? Anyway.
dun.
Yeah. Psh. Well, it's the same thing. So this being tax time, I feel I need to tell everyone, and this may not be up.
Don't
during
fall for
tax
the
time.
IRS scam.
Well, the IRS will never contact you by phone. They will send you an email, or if you're in real trouble, they show up at your door, and then they're gonna at least. But the IRS, they don't call you. They'll send you a letter, or they'll show up at your door. But nobody's going to call you and tell you that you're being audited and you're going to go to jail if you don't send them money.
Yeah, you got to watch out for those mailers too, because sometimes those are scammers.
Yeah, there's some, I can't, it makes me sad about society that there's people out there that are doing all this stuff. They're just like
fucking NPCs that are out there.
Goddamn NPCs.
And I'm telling you, they're the NPCs, but at least like Kipoga, he's like a partial player. So because I watch him on Twitch or on YouTube or something, so he's a partial
great.
player.
So genius.
So his program, because that's all he is. He's a computer. He's a computer.
I think
program.
that guy is a computer.
He's just a computer.
Yeah, he's a computer who programs other computers. He's
a computer who's telling a computer what to do and then talking to another computer. And the only thing is they're speaking in the English language so I can understand it. And then there's this picture that looks like a person that's in the corner of the screen. That's really, his name is Kitboga, but really it's just the computer. And that's why he's very good at what he does, because, hey, guess what? It's just a playing character, but because they don't have any detail in real stuff, like real physical person, then that's how he is.
Oh, no, I get it. And you're exactly right, except for I told you before, I'm the one that's conscious and everyone else is the program. But, and good for Kitboga for fighting the good fight. But I thought, I'm like, who would fall for this scam? But in the job that I'm in, I would get these people calling me all the time that said, I got my Google Play card, I gave the number to the person, and my account is still locked. And I was like, at first, like, you would think, okay, well, just, an elderly person would fall for that because they don't know any better. But no, I would have all these young people who were calling in, and I would think to myself, okay, so not only do you have to talk to this person who says that you'll go to computer hackers, and in order for us to find a computer hacker.
That's so racist.
Yeah, well, that's who they are. They really are. You can't be racist if it's true. If it's a foreign person who's telling you that it's the hacker. Right?
IRS service.
That's them. Yeah.
Oh, yes. This is Agent Cody Banks.
Yeah. Do they tell you that?
This is Agent Cody Banks
Well, then I
with
thought,
the
okay.
IRS. My IRS badge number is 524-689.
Yeah.
I have Please verify your name so I can bring up your file.
Yeah, that's what they do. Those are the IRS scammers. They got the Social Security scammers that tell you
there's a scam for everything.
Your Social Security scam. They got the online bank. Your online account has been hacked.
See, so no, going back though to old people would get scammed by certain things because they can. Part of the script is to be confusing, but the other aspect is that unfortunately, the younger generation has been taught to just give out information because, hey, I want to sign up for Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to sign up for TikTok. Oh, I want to sign up for this. Oh, I just put my information everywhere. So it's like some people, what they'll do is they'll just call up, sound like an authority and say, we need your phone number.
Yeah.
We need your bank. Where do you bank? What's your social security number? And they give it to them.
Give them right out. Well, and then I thought, well, not only do these people have to like believe that their computer's been hacked for the things that I would get the phone call for, then they have to get in the car and drive to the place to get the actual card. And when they're driving, it didn't occur to them, like, why would I need, how is giving someone a play card or whatever, it depends on what it, how's that going to help them find the hat? Why would I?
Because they're very convinced. But that's the thing. They're very convincing. They have a script that they follow, and that's what they do. They'll either instill fear. Yeah. They'll either make you think like they're their best friend.
Yeah.
Or long lost like family member, something like that. And then they have an answer for everything.
They do.
When it comes to it.
And it's mostly fear. But then I thought,
you mother child, you stupid mother. Are you stupid?
Yeah.
And that's what
they do.
It's like, holy shit, calm the fuck down.
Like, me, I don't know if it's because I'm Italian and I grew up watching all the Italian mobster movies and like, that fell off the back of the truck and all this stuff. And I learned to be cynical, but then I realized that there are some people who just, like, they get up in the morning, they went to school, nothing happened to them at school, they didn't watch any kind of movies, and they liked, whatever their hobbies were, but it wasn't anything in the real world. And then once they got out into their normal life, they just went to their job. But they weren't aware that there's like bad people out there. They're just living a sim life where I get up, I cook my breakfast, I go to school, I get up, I cook my breakfast, I go to work, and they don't.
Programmed life.
Yeah, they didn't think in the mindset of a criminal, right? Like they didn't, they weren't savvy.
NPCs.
Yeah, they weren't
NPCs.
All it is. But that's who's getting victimized. But then there's another young lady.
Here's the real thing. Let's be honest. Because this is a simulation and it's my simulation, there's like everybody else is just a character in my simulation. All these scams that are happening really aren't happening. It's a program. Just some hokum.
Well, then
keep me entertained?
Right now, I got a paper cut on my finger. How come I have pain from the paper cut on my finger if I'm just a programmed character?
You don't really have pain in your finger.
I'm just telling you that?
You think you have pain in your finger, but you don't.
Well, I don't even exist in your world. I'm just a program that's telling you.
No. You're a character in my simulation who has more programmed responses than an NPC who has only 4 programmed responses.
It's like in iRobot. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
Where he puts a little, I'm sorry. My responses are limited. You must ask the right question.
Similar to that, yeah.
But see, you're the simulation in my reality. You're not real.
No.
I'm the one that's conscious.
Sorry.
Okay, well, how about this?
We've already established that I have the variance, the wider variance of things that
I know you think in your head you've established that. How about this?
No.
When I was listening to... it was Sean Carroll. It was either Sean Carroll or Sam Harris. He has a guest on there that they talk about conscious. It's Sean Carroll, it definitely is. Listen to his podcast, Mindscape.
Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah. It's one of them, it says in the description, they talk about consciousness. Panpsychism. Panpsychism, where everything has a consciousness. This thing has a consciousness. There's a piece of consciousness in this.
No,
do you believe in that?
This is a recording device because it's the simulation that's making sure everything around me.
Well, right here's the little camera, the Truman Show that's watching me.
No, that's not. It's not a show. It's a simulation. It's a computer.
You're an actor who's paid. And everyone is watching me on the Aaron Show.
Okay, well, like the Truman Show. If this is real and you're watching, I want a raise to hang out with him.
Paying you enough.
They're not.
That's what I used to
You're
tell my
not
friend
paying me
Nate.
enough.
That's what
I'm
I tell
looking
my-
right at the camera right
That's
now.
what I tell Nate. It's like, you're at the Truman Show. My friend name, like, they pay you to hang out with me, and they're not paying you enough. That's like, but anyway, so then I realized I was telling you about a woman that I work with earlier that I couldn't figure out how old she was because she looks pretty good for her age, and you don't ask women their age. Well, it turns out,
Bow chicka bow wow.
yeah, it turns out that a relative of hers got the phone call that said her kid has been kidnapped, and
Oh,
that
yeah,
they
one
need
of
to
those
send
bullshit-
$10,000, and her relative fell for it. They didn't text her to see if her kid was okay or anything. They just send the $10,000, and she's telling me this whole drama. So it hit close to home. That happened around here. It happened to someone
It happens
I knew.
to a lot of people.
Yep,
I mean,
I can't believe it.
if you start talking to people, they'll tell you that.
Yep.
I had a ride once that I was taking where we were talking about scams and that, and they said that, or the one, they were all college girls, and the one's like, yeah, my grandmother got scammed. She had to buy a card, and luckily, like, she didn't. Like, give him the number or something because she had finally got the wit to call her mom. I was like, well, at least she got saved that way.
Yeah,
and figured
for
it out.
sure.
But like, it caused real problems and like real anger in their own family. Where
Oh,
it's
this
like,
is-
they'll flip the fuck out and like not talk to each other because it's like, how could you be that stupid? You fell for. And then the other people are like, I didn't know, I didn't. And it's like this. It's I don't know why people react that way. Besides the fact that they're NPCs in my simulation of life.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But I mean, that's a programmed response. But it's like I mean, if you think about it, like they fell for it. The scam is working.
works. It does
People
work.
are doing it because if it didn't work,
Well, they
they wouldn't
wouldn't
be
do
doing it, or it would change completely.
Yeah.
So it does work. Most people are going to hang up. A lot of people are very smart about it, but there's a lot of ways that they can trick you.
You know, one time when I was, and before I go into this, doesn't happen anymore, I don't think. Well, it definitely doesn't because of long distance. So, but in 1999, when I moved away, I moved out of state, and I signed up for a phone company. And the phone company sent me a
Was
card.
it Bell Atlantic?
It definitely was. It was Graham Bell.
Oh,
Yeah. They
What
sent.
if the 9 million bells?
Yeah. Well, they sent me a phone card that said your long distance is this much, like 2 cents for long distance. Use this code, right? So my car had broken down, and I needed to use the phone to use long distance. So I used the card code. I called someone, and then I go, I'm broken down.
What
Come to
about
pick me up.
10-10-3-2-1?
That was one of them too. Yeah.
You remember that shit?
Yeah.
10-10. It started off, I think it was 10-3-2-1.
Yeah.
And then they had to add the 10-10 into it. And there were
Oh, that was a good
breaking
one.
shit.
Yeah. That was,
Jesus
that was a good one.
Christ. Sorry, people who are listening, if you blew out your ears.
My voice is much louder.
But yeah, it's like some crazy shit.
Well, so I got this phone card. My car broke down in Zelienople, Pennsylvania. Now, this is before cell phones.
Hold on, one question. Why does Pennsylvania have a really fucking weird names?
Oh, a lot of places have weird names. If you
Like
think,
Punxsutawney is
Yeah.
where Phil is brought up, who's
Yeah.
just brought out,
yeah.
which is actually kind of cool. I don't
What
know.
about that weird
But
place?
then you said Zelenokoko.
Zelienople.
Yeah, that one.
Wait till you see that one. Try to spell it. I think it's spelled with an X.
Well, yeah. I would have thought that immediately.
They
Like,
have
when
a
you
place
said
called
that.
Mars. I mean, actually, when you go, my favorite one though is the Hempfield Highlands.
All right.
good one, yeah.
Is there hemp there?
You can go to Hempfield High School.
Yeah, but I'm asking, is there
Sure, there
actual
is hemp. Well, I'm sure it was called Hempfield because they grew fields of hemp. I'm sure that's the history.
I'm wondering if they still do, though, because that's the other
I
thing.
can't imagine why a place would be called Hempfield Highlands because they grew corn. There's a lot of crazy places. What about that weird
Well, there's
place?
Hempstead.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different places, so it's not like it's an uncommon name.
Yeah. What about that weird place, Lackawanna? That's a weird place.
Heck, I want a 6.
Yeah. You know, my favorite thing though is all the weird places like Bald Knob, and the funny names like Upper Dildo. There's a place in Canada called Upper Dildo.
I like Middlesex. I think that's funny.
I think that's in Pennsylvania, right?
yeah, it's a road right when you cross into the.
I think it's a town.
I don't know. The
Yeah.
town of well, no, yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, they
But
got a
there's-
lot of good
There's
ones.
Middlesex Road. I know that for sure
Yeah.
because every time I go in, you know what's really funny in Lovejoy? There's a street called Long Necker.
How about Three Rod Road?
Yeah, there's
funny.
4 rod and 2 rod too.
Two Rod Road?
Yeah, but those are measurements.
Oh, that
rod
makes
is a measurement.
sense. See, do you know
just-
how old I was when I
It's just-
learned that?
It's just like transit road is a cut on a transit.
I
That's why
get
it's
that.
straight from the point of origin to the point
I get
of
that
ending.
one. But do you know how old I was when I learned that a rod is a measurement? 40. I was today years old when I learned
You want to know
two rod.
You want to know what's really interesting though? The rod is measured after my dick size. Oh!
Did you know that whales have the second largest penis of any mammal in the animal kingdom? I have the largest.
Yeah, it's almost 6 feet tall.
That's a Dan Aykroyd joke. Dan Aykroyd, that's a great joke. Yeah. I forget what movie that's in. I think it's in 50 First Dates. So anyway, I broke down in Zeleenople, Pennsylvania. And
Oh yeah, back to the story.
I had this card. And I used it to call someone
1-800
to come
collect.
pick me up. It was a card, yep. It was because of my service provider. They said if you get a phone number, when you sign up, I was so excited. I think it was the first phone number I ever got. And they give you a card that says if you need long distance, it's this cents a minute for long distance. So sure enough, I kept it in my wallet. I broke down because it was before there were cell phones. And I wrote down in Zeleenople, Pennsylvania.
Well, hold on. If you break down in Zeleenople, Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to have a cell phone signal to begin with.
No, there weren't cell phones back
No,
then.
I'm saying even today.
No, there definitely isn't. You have to walk around like this.
Dude, it's actually so I drove go back to your story and then I'll tell
All
you
right,
my
I'll finish it up
Pennsylvania
real
story.
quick. So the first thing I did was I got out of my car and I happened to have markers and I used to draw and do some art. So I wrote on my whiteboard, car broke down, and here I am. I'm an idiot standing on the side of the road. Car broke down.
Nobody's coming.
Yeah. You know who pulled over and helped me? A school bus. A school bus picked me up and drove me to Walmart. So then I got to the payphone at Walmart
Punxsutawney?
in Zeleenople, Pennsylvania.
They have their own Walmart?
I think he just built it.
Oh shit.
Yep, it was crazy. It was the one place. So I used the payphone to call my relatives who live in New York, and I'm like, "Hi, can you drive 5.5 hours to pick me up?" Left my car on the side of the road. I was only on the phone for like a minute or two. Like, "Hey, you gotta come pick me up?" I had like a $400 phone bill.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
it was like a couple $100.
Scammers.
Yeah. So I
So
called.
what did they do? They routed it through down to like Cayman Island and then back out?
That's exactly what they said. So, well, Pennsylvania is not zoned for the long distance for the card that we sent you. So we routed your call through Arizona where long distance is zoned. They gave me such bullshit, right?
I'd be like, wait, if you routed me through Arizona
Yeah.
because it is,
Yeah.
then I should have that rate, you fucking stupid
It said
motherfucker.
right here on the card. Oh, well, so that's a common. Now, finally, the government finally passed a law that said the phone companies couldn't do that anymore. They can't lie to you, right? But that's the equivalent of the online scammer. Like, so what do you do when it's a company that's scamming you? Like, oh my God, it's a major service provider. I'm not going to tell you which one it was, but it was a big one. And I'm like, son of a bitch. So nobody is above the scam. Everybody's a scam. And that's when I learned to be like really savvy out there. Well, now, phone companies can't do that. But I fell for the scam, the long distance scam. Don't do it in Zeleenople, Pennsylvania. And then my poor family had to come 5.5 hours to pick me up. Oh, it's so crazy. Then,
Oh yeah, that's
okay. Also, that car, I just left it on the side of the road. I don't know what happened to it. So if you have my 1979 gray Malibu, brown Malibu, that's like the biggest production car ever made, and it was ugly beige.
I think the Buick is.
You have it, yeah. It was like the second biggest one.
Did you watch Super Bowl?
No,
Did you see the all electric Hummer?
no.
Yeah, it's an all electric Hummer.
What?
I like fuck, dude. I didn't really. I like. So get this. So I'm talking to my girlfriend. First of all, I don't remind me about my Pennsylvania story right after this because I'll forget. So last week we were watching. So I'm talking to her and I'm like, where do we want to watch Super Bowl? Because I only have Roku. I don't have TV. I said fuck that shit a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I don't know. Well, and then so we all end up going over to her mom's house and watch the game for a little while, watch up to the halftime show, and finish it, and then head back home. And that's fine and dandy, cool. But it's like it would have been better just to hang out, chill at home, do our thing. And then we turn on Roku just to expect to watch a movie, and there, right at the bottom of the screen, it says, "Watch the Super Bowl for free on the NFL Network."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Fucking download,
Yeah,
bitch!"
for
So I
sure.
downloaded that shit. And we watched it from like half of the third quarter to the end of the game, and it was all on. It was great.
Awesome.
So it's like, I only missed a little bit. And I'm like, fuck. Now I know for next time I can actually sit at home and watch that shit on Roku. The only thing that sucked is when it's streaming like fast paced stuff like that, you could see I don't know if they like drop frames or something, but you can see it looks like it, instead of being it's like all jagged, so like the ball's traveling through the air and it's like
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it, I like the smoothness of it
For sure.
So like I'm thinking about, I might get the digital ears to get
I hear those
the
work
signal.
good. Yeah.
Oh, you get better signal out of those things because it's broadcast right here.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard they
So-
work good. You get real high quality 4K.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
they're
I don't have
all
4K
right.
TV. My TV's 12 years old, and I'm not getting a new TV because I don't give a fuck.
You know what?
52 inches of gloriness.
I just moved. I have a 55-inch high definition 4K ultra high whatever fancy TV, and
Bring it over. We'll use it.
fuck yeah, dude. Because you know what? I
'Cause
just moved. I've been using my phone, and I just don't. I don't need that. I mean, it was crazy when I was laying, watching movies and stuff. When I don't.
Well, it's
phone's
nice
good
when you
enough.
have like Roku or when you have like something, because you can cut the cord and you can still watch it.
yeah.
And I bought Roku for one thing. One for my daughter to watch like Disney Plus, and then I get to watch Disney Plus when Loki and WandaVision and all those
gonna be
good
cool.
Marvel movies or Marvel shows come out, but also so I can watch YouTube videos.
Yep.
So it works freaking great. And then in my office, I'm actually going to get a Roku Ready TV or something where I can just cast because like it's so easy to use my phone as the controller on the YouTube app itself. So I can just go through and be like, oh, there's a tutorial on how to make a certain animation that I want to work on. Or I didn't know how to do a certain edit on a video. Boom, I could throw it up on my office TV. Or I can even send the signal from my computer to that. So if I want to watch the playback on the video I'm creating for YouTube or something, boom, it's right there. It looks, and then I can calibrate it for TV, which is going to be fucking mint.
Yeah, see, that's my TV. It has all the apps on it. I get YouTube, Netflix, Amazon. There was no need, and I can control it with my phone, or I can screen mirror my phone on there if I want to watch the internet. It was crazy, right? Well, then I moved. I didn't even plug in my TV. I watch my little phone now, and I don't miss it. I'm like, oh, okay. Phones are getting really. I didn't know that my phone could play high quality videos. It's good enough. Like, holy crap. Yeah, there's no need for my high definition TV. So, yeah, I'll definitely bring it over here. Well, we can use it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So tell me about, Zillion Opal. Zillion Opal is Zeilen.
Oh, it's a Z.
Yeah, it's a Z. Could you believe
Oh,
it?
I thought it was going to be an X.
Me too. I thought so too.
So where is Zeliopina?
It's in Butler County. It's about...
I want, like, is it near Pittsburgh? Is
Yes.
it near...
It's about halfway between Erie and Pittsburgh.
Is it on 79?
Yeah. I'm
Fuck,
sure.
I've probably
Sure.
driven by that
probably
so
have.
many goddamn
Yeah,
times
for
when I
sure.
was driving down to Charlotte or
Yeah.
Florida or wherever.
I'm sure you have.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, so...
Yeah, because I go to Pittsburgh and then make a left.
Okay, so yeah, pretty interesting. So yeah, so then it's actually kind of flat at that part.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say. So my story of driving is, so one night, I think it was 4 years ago. I decide, I'm in Buffalo right now, and then I'm going to drive to New York City in the morning. So let's hang a Yui, or let's take a detour down to Punxsutawney because it was February 2nd. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go down to Groundhog Day because it'd be pretty cool. I love the movie, and I know the movie is not shot anywhere near the actual event of Punxsutawney. So I go down, and figuring it all out. I leave, or I go to sleep early, like 7, and then wake up at like, oh God, 11 or something to start driving. And I drive down through Pennsylvania, and that you got to take the 219 going through Bradford. And then you go through all these fucking crazy hill roads because it's like probably close to where you were. I don't know if you knew where it was or not, but it's probably close to where you were at least. And so you're going through these mountains and traveling like on these roads, and it's like fucking February 1st at like 1-2 in the morning, and it's like, oh shit, I hope I don't hit ice, because it's like you get this S curve going around, and it's like, oh shit, you fall over, and you'd be like, I'm done for. And so, yeah, like driving through is just crazy. And then all of a sudden you like come into this valley and it's Punxsutawney. And it's like, holy shit. And it was pretty cool. Like, it was a really cool event. They go buck wild for it. Like, they have this huge, crazy, like week-long celebration of everything. And so they have like all this stuff that's going on, all these different events. So I get there, it's like, it's almost like 3 a.m. when it actually starts. That's like when the first bus goes from Walmart's parking lot to take you there. And so we get there. It's fucking frigid cold. It's like 20 degrees out. Everybody's standing there for like 4 or 5 hours. And, you know, it's fun. They have all this music, these events going on. They have, food that they're serving, and it's in a park. So it's this really cool spot. And then then all of a sudden the media comes, and then the media goes in the media section. And then they have this whole procession of everything going down, and they pull out Phil and do this thing. But like 6:30 in the morning, they're blasting off fireworks like crazy. And there's people that live right there too, like no down in the street. Like, this park is right there. And there's people, like, you walk down the street to go back to Walmart, and there's people that live right there. It's like one day out of the year, if they forget that it's February 2nd, some way, somehow, at 6:30 in the morning, you think you're going to like being under attack, because it's the fucking fireworks that are blasting off.
No shit.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then I just drove to New York right after that to go visit Knox.
Well, the 219 goes from the 76 to Punxsutawney's, where you went.
Yeah.
I'm familiar because Johnstown is close to where I was living. The craziest thing.
Yeah, but like I said, it's 4 years ago. Hold on. Pause for the quaz. You could keep talking.
Oh, okay. It's still going. All right. So, in 1999, I had lived in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, where they make Rolling Rock beer. I lived right behind the Rolling Rock Brewery. And back then, it was right when CKY and the Jackass people were becoming popular, and a lot of them are from Pennsylvania. So everyone that lived there thought that was in their teens and early 20s, thought they were a bunch of jackasses. Well, the thing that was interesting, one of the craziest things, have you ever been to like a real life frat house?
Yeah.
I didn't know that those even existed. Like, I was like, my friend of mine's like, we're going to Indiana University, and I thought we were going to Indiana. For some reason, Indiana University is in Pennsylvania. Who knows why? So we go there, and they had the real frat houses with the letters on the front of them. And I'm like, holy shit.
Dude, there's like, they have them here for UB too.
They do, but it wasn't, I've been to those too, but it like Indiana University.
Well, yeah, the bigger schools they have a real legit.
It was legit.
I mean, there's quite a few. They got like Fraternity Row and stuff like that. Yeah, they have different houses and stuff that are designed for it.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy going there, because in the basement, I remember there's like, in the basement was a rave, and then in the middle floor was like all the bros with the kegs, and then all the upstairs was like glow in the dark party.
Dude, you could get Training Buddy Bro.
Oh, that's so
where
great.
You can work out with a friend you've never met.
That's such a great idea.
Hopefully they're a good spot, but we can't guarantee it.
That's so great. That's so
Training
funny.
Buddy Bro.
Yeah,
where you can bro out.
Yeah, those guys were all on the third floor of the frat house that I was at. That was super fun. It was a really good time. I didn't know that they existed. I felt like I was in Animal House, the movie Animal House, for a while. It was a lot of fun.
Some of the parties can be pretty crazy, especially in the big schools.
Yeah.
Like if you go to a D1 school or something after like a football game and you go to those parties, dude, fuck.
Well, I think they're starting to like, because of all the deaths that are happening at frat houses now, they're starting and hazing or whatever. They're starting to shut all those houses down. And
Colleges, listen up.
Yeah.
Kids are going to college for one reason only, and that is to drink, fuck, go crazy, experiment, have fun, and be social.
Yeah.
They're not going for class, because I can go on YouTube and learn everything I need to without getting a college degree. So colleges, stop taking the fun away, you pussies.
Yeah. Yeah. Have all the frat houses.
I had to.
No, I get it.
I'm very much against their bullshit.
It depends on the circumstance. But yeah, they were definitely, I don't think that, I wonder if those houses are still there and they're still partying to the degree that they were when I lived there, because it was pretty, and people around here partied too when I moved. You know, I'm like, oh, you knew these people aren't going to hold the candle to New Yorkers. But as soon as I got there, I'm like, this is another level. Like, holy shit. It was really fucked up. But it's, you know, it was a lot of fun. I had a good time. And then I never did find on Rolling Rock beer. There's like a number I think it's a number 33 that's printed on their labels, and I still to this day don't know why they have 33 on their labels of Rolling Rock beer. And there's another thing, the Loyal Hannah. If you watch a Rolling Rock commercial, like, oh, straight from the Loyal Hannah River, like water straight from the Loyal Hannah. I've been there.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You want to know?
Yeah.
You want to know something?
I do.
Ooh, child.
So funny.
Things are gonna get easy. And no, actually, I know exactly where I got that song from now that I think about it. It was from Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's not watching Boy Meets World when you were a kid? Okay.
No, because I don't even remember that. Like, dude, that's like how long ago?
Yeah.
Like Boy Meets World went off the air, I think in like 99 or 2000 or something.
It? Wow.
Yeah, it's a long fucking time ago. So, no, it was from Guardians of the Galaxy, because it was in that.
I really got to watch that movie.
It's good.
Is it a good movie?
Oh yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
Have you seen Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah, that's funny. That's
Isn't it
a really
so good?
funny movie. That was a really good movie. Yeah.
The director Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
He directs another movie called What We Do in the Shadows, which I just watched. I'm like, what? A vampire movie? It is great. And when they said he was going to direct Thor, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be so good. And it's so funny. Just even at the beginning, it was like, oh, I thought that was some kind of terror thing. No, it's a crown. It's so funny. Mm-hmm. That's the best one, I think.
Yeah, right. No, that was a funny movie, but yeah, Guardians is too.
It's good.
And they sing that song, Ooh, Cha, things are gonna get. So that's kind of where I got it from.
Okay.
And I don't know why I think it was because she was having a bad day or something. I was watching that or just seeing it, and that's where it came from. And so it just kind of was like became this thing that just started happening because it's just like funny.
Oh,
so and like I said, I was just watching it, and it's like, oh my God, that's the variance that I had. That's the Mandela effect that I had on Boy Meets World.
Okay.
I'm rewriting TV shows from 20 years ago.
Okay.
Because I am the center of the simulation of a 13-year-old in their grandmother's basement.
Okay, that sounds right. I'll go with that.
You're all NPCs.
All NPCs. Well, you know, it's funny. I was listening to like NPR. I don't know what I was listening to on the radio, but it wasn't music because they were talking about what an NPC was. And like an NPC, like an Elon Musk is not an NPC. He's a major player in the simulation of life. But most people are just NPCs. They're just like, they don't do anything important. They don't affect anything.
See, here's the thing.
Okay.
Elon Musk is also an NPC in my simulation.
Well, in your simulation.
He's just this entity or program or
Well, yeah.
whatever you want to call
Well, to you
him.
subjectively, he's not even
Because
real because
he's-
you've never met him.
Yeah,
You've never had any
exactly.
personal.
He's just
yeah.
this. It's like Kid Boga. It's just
Yeah.
there for either entertainment or talking
He's
purposes
just, he
or
could be
whatever
like a
it might be.
billboard. Yeah, he could
So-
be just like a billboard of information.
Yeah, exactly. It's just something to feed the program
Yeah.
for my simulation
To
to
you.
experience life. So it's this different identity and thing that's
I get
going
it.
on.
I get it. But I told you, it's like the Truman Show where everyone is watching me and there's different people who are played, but it's also like the Matrix where everything is programmed and it's my life is a combination of the Truman Show and the Matrix. And right now, you're trying to tell me that you're the center consciousness to try to fool me and make me not think that I'm in the Matrix. Nope, you're just telling me that to try to fool me.
You're running the denial program.
No, you're trying to tell me that to fool me to keep me in the Matrix and the Truman Show. That's what you're doing, and I'm not.
Did
falling
Morpheus come to get you out?
For it. No, not yet. I'm still
Exactly.
asleep in the
so
Matrix.
This isn't really the Matrix.
No, you're lying
Or
to
the
me.
Truman Show.
No,
for
see,
you.
I didn't need
Because
Morpheus.
I didn't get a pay raise from the Truman Show, and
about
I'm
this?
still sitting right here. So the simulation is on me.
Which one is the blue pill or the red pill? Which one's the non one?
Take the red pill,
Okay.
and I show you how deep the rabbit
Okay,
hole
so
goes.
the red pill is the one that does
Take
it.
the blue pill. You wake up tomorrow, believe whatever you want to believe.
Okay. All right.
Take the red pill,
All right.
and I'll
So
show
it's
you
the
how
red
deep
pill.
the rabbit
How
hole
deep
goes.
the butthole goes. Okay, got it. So what if the Matrix movie in my life was the red pill? That's what the red pill was. If when I watch the Matrix, I can start realizing that I'm in the Matrix and the Truman Show, and that everyone else, everything is a pre-program. People aren't real, and you're being paid to be an actor
No.
in my life. That everyone is that the alien beings who are bored are watching me as a television show.
No, the reason why that's not true is because they're making Matrix 4.
Well, you're just telling me that to keep me in the
I
Matrix.
told you, you're in the denial program.
No,
You're running.
You're
the
trying to fool me right now.
You're running the denial program
No.
because you keep saying no.
And you know
no.
the dinosaurs?
But my variance is much greater. There were no dinosaurs. It was just a talking point.
The devil put them there to fool me. There wasn't anything real about the dinosaur. The devil
Excuse
put
me.
them there to fool me.
There were no dinosaurs because the dinosaurs wouldn't be able to survive on flat Earth.
That's they're just like lemmings. They all would have jumped off
They
the
all
cliff.
jumped off the. See, they were tall enough to hit the ice shelf that's holding all the water in.
Oh my God. Did we talk about on the podcast how I talked to a real flat earther?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, I never thought that I would meet one. And
What are you talking about? They're all over
They
the place.
are all over. I
They're the
thought they
smart
were like
ones.
a unicorn.
You know why? Because they're not the NPCs. They're the people who are legit.
yeah, they're tuned in.
They're
For
tuned
sure.
into the real. You know, they got their tinfoil on. They're talking to aliens and shit too.
Oh my God. It's hilarious. Okay. I had the dinosaurs all fell off the flat earth. The dinosaurs all fell off the flat
No, you know
earth.
why? And you know why cats are the only ones that are left? Because they're too small to get on the fucking shelf and knock shit off.
Oh my God. That is so funny. What was I just reading something on the internet about shoving shit off the shelf and showing their butthole?
That's a cat.
That's definitely a cat. Oh.
That's definitely a cat.
You know, I was having a debate with this person that I work with that they love cats. I get why. I get the appeal of a cat. I've had a cat.
I hate cats.
I
You know
don't
why?
hate them.
Because they want to kill you.
They do want to kill
They're
you.
fucking monsters.
just not
They're
big enough.
little fucking monsters
yeah.
that want to kill. They
Yeah.
want to do nothing but literally kill
exactly
you.
it.
Like the reason why they always go near your neck is not because they love you and are showing you affection.
Yeah.
They want to fucking bite your jugular vein because they know that's where your blood flow is.
They're just
that's
too
what
small.
tigers do. That's what lions do. They go for the fucking jugular because they can sense that shit. They can sense it in them. Cats are the exact same thing. They're just little fucking lions that want to destroy you. Cats are not cool. They're shitbags. And then they're little drama queens too, because they're like, bleh, bleh, and they throw up in your fucking shoes, and then they're like,
sure.
and then they're like, who loves kitty?
You know what else they do that's
Who
fucked
loves
up?
kitty? And then they blow up on you, and they're like, bleh.
when I was moving from one place to another, my one apartment wasn't ready yet. I had to like paint it and put new carpet and shit in there. And I stayed with a friend of mine who had a cat, and her cat went into the closet. When I didn't realize I left the closet half open. It went into the closet and peed all over my clothes.
Oh yeah, fucker.
Like, you're new here and fuck you. This is my territory. I'm pissing all over just so you know that I can kill you and this is my house. Like, fuck you. They're little fuckers. But I mean, I've had a cat. I like them. They're okay, but they don't have a personality like a dog does. A dog is a person. They have a personality like a person. A cat is just like, I tolerate you, little human who's
Because
serving
you
my
feed
food. Yeah.
The only reason why I keep you around is because you feed me. Other than that, I'll fucking bite your ass off and
That's
kill
exactly
you.
it.
And that's what they do. That's what they want to do. Dogs, on the other hand, are fucking awesome.
They are awesome.
Dogs are so cool. You know why? Because they came from wolves.
That too.
And even though they're little shitbag chihuahuas right now, some of them, they still got the wolf running them in them. But the cool thing is, it's like a true symbiotic relationship because they provide certain good things for us, and then they are, taking care of that good stuff. So it's always a good thing.
Well, the way I understood it, and I know, what do you call it when you research the history of animals? It's not a biologist. Would it be like a horticulturist is for
I
plants?
would just say
right?
it's a biology, like a historical biologist or something.
So now, and I'm no rocket biologist, right? But the way I understood,
I think that would be rocket engineer.
okay,
Because engineers build rockets.
that makes sense.
Biologists don't build rockets
Okay.
unless they're just having fun in their backyard.
Yeah, I mean,
They're like, and then something happens and they got to hug their wife and they're like, "Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier."
Oh my God, you love it.
As the cops are fucking rolling up right now and they're like, "What did you do?"
been there. The way I understood it is that like humans would have fires at nighttime, and they would eat food, and then when the humans went to sleep, the wolves would like stay outside the camp, but they would protect the camp from like other lions and tigers and bears attacking the
other
humans,
animals,
right?
Because
Yeah.
not necessarily lions, tigers,
In
and bears are in that
exchange, then we would give them the scraps of the food, and slowly over years and years and years, hundreds
Probably
and probably
wasn't that
thousands of
long.
years, but they started getting closer to humans and closer to humans to where they became domesticated over thousands of years. But that's how it started out. It's like, first the wolves were on the outer edge, and they would just eat
And they were-
eat scraps when the humans moved on.
They're like, at first they were like cats. They're like, "I'm gonna walk around.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch you.
Yeah.
You get a little too far out, I'm gonna fucking eat you."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh shit, these people know how to kill. Fuck, we better stay like our distance. They got fire. They got this crazy stuff going on.
Now,
they're doing all this stuff. We gotta figure them out." And then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh wait, there's other stuff. Hey, Johnny, let's get that thing. Maybe they'll give us some food."
when
You're
you
stupid.
when you were letting your dog out to poop, did you always make direct eye contact with your dog, letting them know that you're protecting them and watching them at all times?
No,
Oh, okay.
I just put them
See,
out.
you're not. Oh,
I just put them on, or put the chain on.
did you ever
and let
notice
them
how
out.
when the dogs are pooping, they look directly at you? They want to
No,
make
they don't.
sure. Well, a lot my any dogs that I had.
I
did.
think the dog's looking at you and be like, "You're watching me fucking take a shit right now."
They want you to watch them to make sure that you're protecting them from getting attacked. And if you were to poop outside, which I know that you do a lot of times, pooping in your yard,
See,
the dog would watch you to make sure that you don't get attacked.
Here's the thing I don't understand is why would the dog watch you watching them when you'd want to watch the vast area around?
The key is to make sure you're locked on direct eye contact the whole time. Don't break the bond.
I think it's a dog thing that they're like, "You are watching me poo. Why? Stop looking at me. Otherwise, I'm going to poo in the house."
No, I think they want to make sure you're watching them, protecting them,
No.
making sure there's no predators.
I'm going to go on a hard no on that one.
I think that's what it is.
This is your NPC coming out right now.
No, it definitely can't be.
See, I'm telling you, my simulation,
But
my
see,
world.
it couldn't be because the whole thing is I read that on the internet, And everything on the internet is true. We
Well-
all know that.
well,
so if I
I
read
mean-
it on the internet, that's why.
They think that the Earth is round, spherical,
I know,
or
come on.
they call it oblate spheroid.
Yeah.
Like you have to make up a name. No, it's flat. Get your fucking facts straight.
Yeah.
It's flat.
Everyone knows that. Yep.
They have these weird. I mean, I don't know. They have these weird YouTube videos out there that says the Earth is round.
So weird.
Ugh.
Yep. And those people that are in outer space that are looking at the Earth as a disc like this. It's flat.
You do
but
realize
it's like this.
You do realize again, they're all NPCs that are running a
They
program.
really are.
There's no astronauts. There's
sure.
no such thing. It's just a program.
Definitely not.
For entertainment purposes and talking points only.
I think the flat Earth guy. Well, first of all, the Flat Earth Society. We have members all around the world. I don't know if you know that. That's the best.
Well, hold on. Let's get it straight. Because it's a disc.
Yeah.
So it's a round disc like this.
Yeah.
And it's around, so it's all around.
Okay.
It's going around
That's how
and
they-
around
that's how
and
we-
around.
that's how
So
we
it's
have
a
members all
round
around the
disc.
world.
So that's why it's around the world. And because it's the world is flat, it's like, I mean, hello, did everybody watch Thor? Asgard is a flat plane.
You know what's fun?
It's flat.
What's hilarious is I think you're pronouncing it wrong. Isn't it Asgard?
No, it's Asgard.
Okay. What's hilarious, that's another reason why Thor's great. Ragnarok is great because what's his name in it? Who's Jeff Goldblum?
Uh-huh.
Jeff Goldblum is watching you poop, just like when you're watching your dog. Also, he says that he's like, what, there's a place called Asgard? He calls it, it's hilarious. It's such good writing.
You came from Asgard?
Yeah, that's what he said. It's so
So yeah, no. Asgard,
well, I think the
but
president of the
Asgard-
flat Earth wasn't he building a rocket to shoot up?
I don't know if he was the president. I think it was the Grand Wizard.
Yeah. Oh my God. Did you listen to that?
What?
The difference between grand wizards and grand cyclopses.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, so you're talking about Darren?
Yes.
What's his name?
Daryl Davis.
Daryl Davis. From,
Great.
on Joe Rogan's podcast
Yes.
last week. I think it was.
So good.
I don't remember what the number is. It's like 1422, I want to say. Daryl Davis. Just search his name, Daryl Davis, Joe Rogan. Fucking amazing.
It was really good.
Amazing podcast. I told you about it. I remember. I'm like, did you watch the Daryl Davis podcast or listen to it yet? You're like, no, I didn't know who he was. I just didn't want to.
Nope,
I'm
I
like,
had no
no,
idea.
fucking listen to it. It's amazing.
So good.
And what it is, it's a black guy who is a musician by trade, and he visited with members of the KKK and Nazis too, as well. So Nazis and KKK, so white supremacy groups and things along that nature. And he was trying to understand why they think the way they think. So he got to know some of them and ended up showing their negligent thought and their ignorance when it comes down to it, because they just really didn't know. They were brought up by somebody else who told them something that wasn't true. And so it was easier to believe the person you thought you trusted when in fact that's not really the case. Or that group comes in because it's something to do, and that's, you want to do business in these small rural towns, and that's kind of how they got going. But some people that he talked to, quite a few, left those organizations completely and, really rethought some of their lifestyles and choices that they made after talking and getting to know Daryl and his whole thing. And it was just a very amazing podcast. If he ever came in this area, I'd love to have him on here.
Oh, I'd love to just
Because
hang
it
out
was
with him.
just-
'Cause again,
it
I
was
love music.
truly,
Yeah.
I mean, he was just it was just a truly amazing podcast to listen to. It was, and I don't know if it got maybe the attention that it did. I don't even know what the viewer
We should look at the
download count
numbers.
is. I'll look that up.
Well, the way what was great about it was his presentation of the story too. So it started out, he said, "I'm a musician by trade. I was playing in a bar, and after I stopped playing, these guys came up, and it was a bar that black people don't go to. And after I stopped playing, these guys came up to me and said, 'I've never heard a black man play the piano like you before.'"
It's 14. If anybody wants to listen or watch it, it's number 1419, and it's got 2.7 million views on Joe Rogan.
And his name is Daryl Davis, right?
Yeah.
Am I getting it right? Okay, Daryl Davis.
So it's a really, really, really good.
Yeah,
one.
he said.
I highly recommend going
he said
over
these
and listening to that.
These guys came up to me and said that they had never heard a black man.
Don't listen to Aaron. Listen to Daryl Davis.
Yeah, definitely listen to him for sure. But long story short, he said that he had befriended these guys who weren't telling him at first that they were part of the KKK.
No,
he
they
befriended
did right away.
them.
They did because
it was like, tell them. Yeah.
They hung out at the bar for a little while,
Yeah.
and then they flashed the
And said he
membership
never had
card.
talked to a black man before. And he's like, how could this be? So Daryl would ask one simple question: how can you hate me when you don't know me?
Well,
Right?
that's what he was trying to find
Yeah.
out.
So it
But
turns out-
I don't want to get into
No.
to it because either I want him here talking about
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Because he's just a very articulate, very
he
very
just
knowledgeable,
tells the story
very
way better.
he's a very, I would say, caring person too, to
Yeah.
try to open the door to negligent thought or to ignorant thought,
Yeah.
and kind of break down those barriers on misconceptions and misbeliefs that people hold or have due to previous generations or just trying to be in the circle, because again, you'd have to listen to his podcast on Rogan.
Yeah.
And
Does it
actually
say
really-
on there? The impressive thing to me, I think he converted like 250 people.
It was something like
You
that.
get
Yeah,
to, like,
it
get-
was
yeah.
between 200 250.
That's a
somewhere
lot.
around
Am I
there.
getting
Yeah.
that right? I wanted to make
It
sure.
was somewhere around there. Yeah.
That is amazing. Like, how do you? That's real change. That is a real
yeah.
impact on life.
And
Like,
that's just him sitting down and talking.
yep.
And like I said, I don't want to get into it. I don't
listen
want
to
to take away from that because
Yeah, listen to it.
it's truly tremendous, and it was so fascinating. He's just a very that's the only word I could say for that is it's fascinating.
Yep.
His story, what he's done, what he's going through, how he's gotten hoods and cloaks
Yep.
from all the different people, and same thing with the new Nazi movement and that, where he's helped convert people out of that, and so he holds on to that stuff because he wants to do a museum. He wants to open a museum. So it'd be cool though I'd love to have him on. That'd be awesome to have him come talk, because it was, like I said, it was just a fascinating story.
I wonder
podcast
if he
and
like
everything.
tours around and plays music. 'Cause I love music too. I'd love
Yeah.
to hear his music.
Well, he's a musician, so
Yeah.
I would assume he would.
Yeah, I wonder if he tours. I'll have to look him up.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I love music. You know what freaked me out?
He wrote a few books
Yeah.
too.
What freaked me out, I don't know about this. I don't know how I feel about this. We'll see what you think. I went to a flea market around here, and it's a flea market where when people die, they'll go and like clear out your house if you don't leave your stuff to anybody, and they put it in these like you get like a little space, and they put it in I'm trying to think of a cabinet, like a cabinet, so you can go in and view all these little trinkets and stuff from like people who died, or they have a whole different sections, all these different sections at this flea market type thing I went to. But they had a whole huge section with all Nazi memorabilia. And I just felt so weird and awkward being in there, like looking at all these helmets and knives and flags. I'm like, should they have this stuff? And who's buying it? It's super weird. I felt really awkward about it. I don't know why. Do you think that like, I just felt really weird about it. I don't know. I wonder if you would have went into a flea market and like, okay, here's the memorabilia corner where they have all these flags and helmets and like Zyklon B, empty canisters. Would you
No, because some people collect.
I felt
certain things.
really weird and uncomfortable and awkward around all that stuff. Like, should this even be here? Like, I don't know.
I mean,
It's my own hang up, I guess.
yeah. I mean, the thing is though, it's history.
Yeah.
It's we can't shut that out, that
No.
history out, because if we do, then we're doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody wants to repeat that history,
now.
or we're going to have some real problems.
Yeah.
And so I think, probably I would say the uncomfortability that you felt is more to do with your lack of knowledge, maybe on that perspective or that thing. And I think that's probably a lot of people's. If you're uncomfortable about anything, it's
Yeah.
usually just a lack of information or misinformation, or information that you have that's
Like, in what
that's-
way do you mean? I think it's
I don't
because we've been programmed to be like, oh, this is bad, this isn't good, like, and it isn't, right? You don't want to be, I don't want to. We're programmed like the Nazis are bad, and
Well,
and
yeah.
they were.
But
right?
there's a lot of people who collect World War II memorabilia to begin with, from both sides.
I just
of
felt awkward.
of the coin. Having that stuff doesn't mean that you're a Nazi. In
Yeah,
any way.
right.
It's the same thing. Daryl Davis collecting KKK
Yeah.
memorabilia.
Well, he had a
and
reason.
Nazi memorabilia
Yeah.
that he's helped convert.
Yeah, he had a
And
reason
It's
to
still
have
a
that stuff.
collection. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a collection, but some people might be like, "Why are you doing that? You're
Yeah.
black. It doesn't make any sense."
Yeah.
And once you find out what's going on, it's like,
He
oh,
earned
that does
those.
make
He
sense.
earned those robes.
And-
I don't have any reason to have a helmet. Like, I wasn't like, I can just go and buy this helmet or this knife at the flea market. I wasn't de-Naziing the Nazis that are like, you know what? I don't want to be a Nazi anymore. Here's my helmet and my knife. He had a reason to have that memorabilia, which is
Yeah, but-
valid.
I mean, that's the whole thing, though. It's memorabilia. It's history.
Yeah.
Even the bad history. I mean, that's the whole thing. This is. We're
That's
all
why I
living-
think it was causing
We're
the
all living
awkwardness.
an experiment.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, this is all an experiment. The human condition is an experiment from the moment we started, and we do things wrong. We
Yeah,
have to
for
correct
sure.
them. We do things right, or we are able to do things better. And it's always learning, and it's always growing, and it's always getting to the next level of things, because again, it's an experiment. Whether it's the collective consciousness experiment. But really, it's not. It's just my simulation, so it's just me.
Oh, well, you put all that stuff there, then I knew it.
Yeah.
And, I was also surprised at the amount of stuff that there was. That wasn't just like, here's one or two things. They had a whole weird section of it. And you're right, though, but when you learn about the Holocaust in school, it's a horrible atrocity. And in its own right, I'm actually kind of happy that I felt super awkward about it, because I know that programming worked. Where like, this is not good. You don't want to be a part of this. And I'm glad that when I saw that stuff, I'm like, ugh, it freaked me out, and get away from there. I'm glad. And it was a good thought experiment when I went back to school in philosophy. Like, it's real easy to say like, oh, I can't believe those people did that. But if you grow up in that environment, who knows? That's what you follow along, and it's a group mentality.
The only thing, though, that I really don't like is how they do history to begin with, or many subjects in school. And that's because when you get out of school, and it's funny, we had this conversation earlier about that, and you're like, I remember learning this in school, and it's like, that's not really a valid point, because half the shit you learn in school is all bullshit anyways.
Right,
like,
sure.
it's not.
It's like a half-truth.
It's like a half truth. They make it up to brainwash you a certain way, especially in history. Which I get it. They want to create nationalism, and they want to make like you trust in the where you're growing up and where you live. I get that. That makes sense. But you can't like deny everything that happened that did, and then down the road when we all get out of school and really learn everything, you can't just like expect I don't know.
yeah.
Well, hey,
Well,
that's
see, the other-
the school curriculum. That's not what I mean. We're only trying to teach you certain parts. We're not trying to teach you the whole.
The other
And it's
thing
like that doesn't make sense. I want to know if I would have learned, and I think that's part of the reason why I didn't like school, and I didn't pay attention in school. I'm actually very smart, and I never opened a book. In college, I've never even bought a book, and I had I made the dean's list, I think, like I don't know. I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but it's like I had no interest in learning from school.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Zero interest. Half of the shit, actually more than half of the shit, I don't remember. I mean, there's a lot of things that I do know that I didn't need to know or whatever. And
that's my biggest issue with school. It's not the learning. I learned a lot of valuable stuff. Like the older I got, the more I paid attention.
You learn valuable stuff, but
it's the bullshit.
Not accurate stuff.
Right, the
it's
bullshit
all
that I learned.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
And I want to learn, I'd rather learn the real stuff because if it's genuine, if it's real, I think that's going to interest more people.
For sure.
But we have to dumb it down and pussify it down to coddle the American youth.
It depends on what it was. Like a perfect example is...
Christopher Columbus is not a hero.
You know what?
He's a piece of shit.
Why? See, I just skipped right over him. I don't even know anything about him. You know what the biggest issue that I had is that they focused so much on war and who got shot in the knee at Wounded Knee.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
I didn't care, but there's so many technological advancements that they just skip over. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of progress in humanity of learning how we get all of this stuff. Like we have pretty good technology now. That's good. I would like to much more learn who invented this, who helped develop that. But it's more important to learn about this war and that war. And I think that's a reflection on humanity that we're so focused on violence for some reason. I like technology. I like art. I like music. I'm much more interested in those things. And in the way that chemistry works, biology, the universe, that's where I paid attention and learned. Is not when you're teaching me about, this person who got shot or that person, they had to take their gums and load the musket like this and cram the, I don't give a shit.
They didn't do it like that. Let's be real.
Isn't that what they did? Then they have to bite the end of the,
No, I'm saying they didn't teach that to you in school like that. It was
that's what I learned.
This huge emphasis on dates and names, and it's like,
well, that too.
That doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
like dates and names don't matter. What happened matters. Yeah, like tell me what happened. Tell me, okay,
they'll teach you this person invented the cotton gin and this person, this is
that.
Type. That's what I wanted to learn. I didn't care about war.
That's not a problem. I don't have an issue with that, but
Me
it's
neither.
That's the whole thing. It's like the amount of information that I've learned outside of school that I, one, used, that I, two, cared about, or even if it's not even in the realm of anything that I use towards finances or making money or whatever it might be.
Reality.
It does. I mean, I learned more outside of school than inside school.
Well, did I tell you how when I took statistics, okay, we're going to learn how to calculate the odds that a hurricane will hit the Florida coast in a year more than once using statistical data, and then the odds that it's going to come back, and okay, good. Then we're going to learn how many different combinations of a license plate you can use, and then we're going to learn how many different lottery numbers you can pick and how the lottery works. Okay, great. Well, then when we got to the subject about how a mortgage works, adjustable rate mortgage, taxes, car insurance, we're skipping over this because it's boring and it's complicated and we're going to skip over that. I go, what do you mean? Why do I need to learn how many combinations of a license plate or how to calculate how a hurricane is going to hit Florida, but you're skipping over the important parts, like how to calculate an adjustable rate mortgage or bank rates or taxes, which is reality? Why are we skipping over that? Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
Well, hey, the reason why they skip over some of those things...
boring. Oh, it's too boring.
No. It's because if you don't know that you're in a game, you don't know how to play it.
That's true.
And if you don't know how to play it... Oh, dude. So did you ever download the Robinhood app?
Acorn and Robinhood. I got it. I'm going to... Tomorrow. Today.
Dude.
Tomorrow I'll do it.
Yeah. No, seriously. It's... So for anybody who's not, first of all, quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. Anything I say right now is my personal opinion or what I think.
Are you sponsored by Robinhood?
No.
Non-spawn. Okay.
No, it's not a sponsor, nothing. But those are two apps that I downloaded. And I like Acorns is really cool because, yeah, you can take like it's micro investing. So all you're doing is taking your spare change that you have through like credit card and debit card purchases. It rounds up to the nearest dollar. You can multiply it if you want, but I just do the dollar, and then you can put like almost kind of like a 401k style where you can have money come out of your account every week that goes into an investment account. And you set it up saying, oh, I want to do it aggressively or moderately or moderate or something like that. And you get like 5 or 6 different things. So like over time, you can actually gain quite a bit of money. I've had it for like 2 years, and it's not much, but it's like $1,600, $1,700 in there. But that's all from change,
Yeah.
and $10 a week for the last 2 years.
That's cool.
So it's like you get dividends, you get all that good stuff, which is really cool. So yeah, I highly recommend downloading that if you haven't done that.
Definitely get it.
And then yeah, if you download, I sent you the link, right?
Yeah, for
If
sure.
you download with that, you get $5 too.
Cool.
So once. I think it takes like a few
No, that's
days or
Acorns you're
something.
talking about, right?
Acorns,
That's
yeah.
change. And then the Robinhood
And then the Robinhood app is
stock.
like it's a stock trading app that you can download. When you sign up, you get a free stock.
That's cool.
So most of the stocks are between like $2 and $5, but you can get like some that are higher up to like Apple and like, so you could get like $250 on it, or
That's
you
one
could
thing,
get like
again,
3 or
like,
4. but
okay,
still.
I remember doing an experiment in school where, I mean, this is probably, God, was it 1992 maybe? And they're like, okay, class, you get to pick stock and we're going to see whoever makes the most amount of money on stock. So all I did was pick car companies because I'm like, car companies make money. I just picked 5 car companies and I made money, right? And we did do like a basic, this is the stock market thing, but they don't teach you, like, I don't know how to invest. I wish I did. You can learn now because thank goodness for the internet. Mm-hmm. But back then, like before the internet, how are you supposed to learn anything? You'd have to buy Encyclopedia Britannica or go to the library. Mm-hmm. You know, like I just feel like the things that we focus on in society and in education need to be more fine-tuned. That's what I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
I don't know how the
again,
stock market works. Like I like to pretend that I do, but
yeah, but the reason why you don't learn that stuff is because if you don't know that you're in the game, you don't know how to play the game.
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Have you ever seen that movie? Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Mm-hmm. How about Snatch? Have you seen that movie?
Are you talking about the porn?
No, definitely not.
The fuck am I gonna watch that?
Brad Pitt's in it, dude.
I don't care.
How about Rock and Rolla?
I want to see. I don't know, somebody hot who's getting pounded in the ass.
Okay. Well, we all have our thing.
Yeah.
Well, then you should definitely go on the internet and Google Snatch.
Yeah. If you're under 18, do not do that. If you're under 18, you probably shouldn't be listening to this either.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? That's one big thing that right in the first podcast that we have on whatever on the interwebs, mm-hmm. we talk about halfway through it about how there needs to be like an open space where you can say your thoughts without getting canceled. You know, and like I think at the beginning of every podcast now, because of the culture we live in, you have to say, "Look,
no,
I'm
not
just thinking
a
out loud
warning.
here."
No,
oh, just thinking out loud. Like my thoughts and opinions are subject to change every day.
Here's the thing. I am not going to make a trigger warning.
Okay.
I'm going to trigger every snowflake I want to. I don't care. If you're going to get pissed off about something I say or think, I don't care. Right. Enjoy.
You're canceled.
And guess what? I'm still going to put the same fucking content out again next time.
Guy Ritchie, wow, he's got a really good catalog.
Who's Guy Ritchie? Guy Fieri?
So there's
a haircut?
There's Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. You should get his haircut, by the way.
Why?
Well, that's how you get famous. You just get frosty tips.
Isn't it Guy Fieri?
Yeah, he's got frosty tips.
Then who the fuck are you talking about?
All right, so Guy Ritchie.
Never heard of it.
Here are some movies that Guy Ritchie. Have you heard of the movie Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah.
And
oh shit, okay. That's okay. I know who you're talking about already.
Guy Ritchie made Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, Sherlock Holmes. I didn't know that. Rock and Rolla, which is a great movie. He's got a good catalog.
Is he an actor or is he a director?
He's the director.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, you think I'm gonna know who he is?
You're not like me who loves movies.
I don't go in depth in the movies and say, "Oh, that's a director."
Wow,
oh,
I didn't
that's
know
who-"
he did Sherlock
I don't look
Holmes.
who the key grip director is. I don't care about that shit. I just want to watch the goddamn movie.
They're good. So Rock and Rolla, Snatch, and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels are English gangster movies about gangsters in England or in Great Britain. They're good. They're really good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Guy Ritchie says exactly what you say. You're in a game. And even though you don't know that you're in a game, until you realize you're in a game and start playing the game,
No, until you start learning the game.
learning the game.
Because then you know
Yeah.
because then you know the rules of the game and you know how to break the rules of the game.
He said that
just
in
a
the
little
Joe
bit.
Rogan podcast. He
No, it's-
said
yeah, it's
you're in a
legit.
game that you don't know the rules to and don't know that you're playing. And he's
It's
right.
legit, and that's the thing. It's not unknown.
I didn't know that.
It's unknown to a lot of people, but
To
once
me.
you realize it, and I mean, yeah, you can invest in Acorns and Robinhood and stuff, and kind of get going in that aspect. But there's a lot of other things that you just don't know. Like you don't know how interest works. You don't know how debt works. You don't know how to pay off debt. And if you start learning those things, and you start learning how to transition your money from like income to expense,
Right.
and then siphon off a little for investment. If you in fact take your income and invest it, and then siphon off a little bit for your expenses,
Yeah.
and then you reinvest your investments, you're going to have a lot better of a way there.
For sure.
And once you learn that game and you start realizing, and you can start playing around, and you can start playing at the rules, and you can actually really do something good. So, yeah, that's something that is highly recommended. But this is my simulation, and I'm saying, ooh, child,
That's so funny.
things are gonna get easier.
You sounded like a combination
Ooh,
of
child,
Fergie
they're
and
gonna
Jesus.
Get a little bit brighter.
That's a great movie too. Step Brothers. Have you seen Step Brothers?
Yeah. All right. Have you? Do you have a quote for the evening
do.
to end on,
Let me find it.
or the morning if you're in the morning rush going to work?
All right.
I highly suggest.
You will face many defeats in life, but never let yourself be defeated. I don't know who said that. Look it up.
Anonymous. I don't know. But yeah. So hey, that's the Anything podcast.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to mention right at the beginning because we didn't really have an introduction this time. So,
Why are we beginning with why
Yeah.
are we ending with the beginning?
yeah. Well, I was Aaron and you were Chris. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about it next time.
All right, but yeah, if anybody does want to check out Acorns or Robinhood, link will be in the description that you can check it out. If you sign up, you can get a free stock or $5 from Acorns by using those referral links. You don't have to. It's pretty cool if you want to. Check it out just in case. And terms and conditions of that can change at any time. When this is being recorded, both those are giving those out to new signups. So, hey, good luck with everything. And we'll see you next time.